Hey guys, welcome back. This is Fun Trade from 3x Trading. So as usual, let's go ahead with the SPX and see how it is doing and what we can expect this week. And let us take a few tickers and see what's going to happen with those as well. So let's go ahead and start with SPX. So SPX, I have just drawn a fib extensions and fib retracement from the recent swing, and this is what we can see. So it was able to hold 61.8 as we can see here, right? This was the resistance level, this is support level, and the support level here, right? So it was able to bounce back and it was able to hold a bit here, but it was not able to hold the daily fib level. So the retracement level, whatever I have written here, is from here to here, and I can see that 61.8 over here as well was holding very well. But 38.2 fib level, the retracement level, extension level, was the resistance for this, and it started to come down here. It was not able to hold the supports, and then we can see a drop down to 100%, which is 3680, and we do have a low here which is 3636, and that's where we can see a bit of a bounce on SPX, right? So I'm not going to say it's a perfect bounce, but yeah, it was a support bounce, whatever we can see here, and it was able to close above 100% fib extension. So let's go ahead and see how we can trade this, right? So in the coming weeks, there is a Fed talk which is going to happen on Wednesday. So until that, we can see SPX and all the other tickers going to consolidate, right? So the consolidation is something which we can expect from SPX. So the consolidation will be between the gap level here. So if we just draw a gap level here, so this is the gap, right? So this is where we saw a big drop from here. Let us say it as gap resistance, or you can say we can see a gap fill, and then it takes a direction from there. So let us put it a bit down here. So 3751 or 50, we can say it's the gap level here. So this is what we can expect from SPX. So SPX, I'm expecting it to consolidate between these levels, which is the gap level and the fib level here, 3680. So this week we are going to be a choppy unless there is any good news that is coming up with the Fed, right? So there are multiple things happening across the globe, right? So we see a lot of rumors about the China and the president's home arrest, or cancellation of the flights, and tug of war. Even US started canceling Chinese airlines, and this is where we can see a bit of a tension and unclear or uncertainty going on in the global market until everything is cleared out. So this is something which we can see. And whatever we heard, the latest news on China is that Xi Jinping is going to resume office from October, which is going to be his next term. From October, I think everything is going to smooth on or ease on, right? So that is where we heard the latest news, and that is something which is going to give us some confidence, and we can expect it to, consolidate between these levels. So until Fed, that is on Wednesday, I don't think anything is going to happen, right? So that is something which we can expect from SPX. Now moving on. So we saw how Amazon was holding the fib levels, and it was acting along with it, right? So it was able to hold, and we saw this was the target which we gave 125. It was able to achieve that target, and it started going down. So the thing is, like, right now it is just holding the it just broke all the support levels and everything here, and it is just going to 103 if we don't see anything going up in the market, right? So as we can see, Amazon was able to push back. The investors were able to push it back to make sure that it closes just above the previous close, right? So this is something which we can see the previous close, and it was able to close just above that. So they just wanted to make sure that Amazon is going to so they don't want to drop it back, and even with just a bit of bounce from SPX, we saw it closing a bit high. So but yeah, according to our flip levels, if I just go ahead and say 50% or 50th fib, right? So that is where exactly it started bouncing back up, right? So we can expect Amazon to hold 111, which is the 50th level here, and consolidate between these two levels along with SPX. So we have earnings coming up for Amazon. I don't expect it to have a huge bounce or even a huge short. So if you see a short, it is going to retest 103. If it is going to bounce back, we are going to see 120 level here and consolidate between these two levels, 111 to 120. So that is what we can expect from Amazon. So moving back to AMD. AMD as well, as we saw, it had a bounce, it had a downtrend, and I'm just trying to see if we can get any levels from the fig extensions, right? So let me just cover up here. So as we can see, AMD as well, it's just bounced off 100 fib level, which is 66.49. If you think of if you have seen our previous video as well, we had the same level of 66, right? So that's where we can see the bounce from AMD, and this we can expect AMD to consolidate between I wouldn't say it is going to retest the 76.8 level. I can say it's going to just, I can think of this levels, right? So it's going to consolidate between 70 levels and 66 until the year, right? Because we have the earnings coming up actually, and we don't expect AMD to bounce a high or a low actually. And if it doesn't hold 66 levels, and if we have any global crisis which is coming up, we can see AMD crashing to 43 levels. And I think that would be the a better entry. But right now, for a mid swing, I would expect AMD to hold these levels, which is 66, and then consider between 70 and 74 levels, right? So this is what we can expect from AMD. And moving on, Nvidia, right? So Nvidia had a lot of traction, and it had a huge swings here, and we didn't see anything much happening with Nvidia, right? So if I have to just take the fib retracement levels from the high to low, so let us just take it from high to low, and then we will go ahead with the extensions from the latest swing, right, which is the high here and the low here and the high here as well, right? Again, this is the latest swing. So we saw a lot of traction between these levels and support here at 61.8, but literally it was not able to hold all those levels, and it started going down actually. So if you just think of that, right, so it was not able to hold this 100th fib level or the extension level, and it started dropping down. The next support for it is at around hundreds. So we have here upcoming in November actually. So I don't think there is any good news which is coming up with Nvidia as well actually. So what we can expect from Nvidia is just consolidate between these levels actually. I would say this is a bit wide gap to say it's going to consolidate between 102s and 137s. But what I can say is, like, if we just go on to the weekly chart, I would expect it to let's go here. So I would expect a very good support here, which is 119, right? So what I'm going to do is, like, I'm going to just remove all the fib levels here, because we have a wide gap there, and I don't think we have to consider those fib levels. Whatever I can think of here is let us take the support levels here, right? So if you just take the support levels here, this is what we can expect, right? So we have a support here, we have a resistance here. So yeah, it was not able to hold the support here, bounced, and so it was able to hold, bounce, and then we didn't see much of an action from Nvidia. So I'm just going to give it some room and say it's going to consolidate between these two levels actually. So if I just go back to 195 minutes, so this is what I can expect from Nvidia. So bounce of 121, and consolidate between I would say here, which is the support and the resistance as well, right? So 133 and 121, and if it breaks 133, we can expect it to consolidate between these two levels, right? So that is for Nvidia actually. So if we just go on and move on to QQQ, so QQQ also has a very good support at these levels, which is 296, right, the low. Whatever I can think of is QQQ is just acting as SPX, and I don't want to talk much about QQQ, but if to just provide you the levels for levels to watch out for, I would expect I'm just going to take the latest swing here and the high here, right? So let me say I enable 78 and 1, right? So yeah, it's same as SPX, right? So we have a support here at 270s. So we would expect QQQ to consolidate between these two levels of 280 and 270s, right? So that is what we can expect from QQQ actually. And then moving on to some different tickers like Ford, or we saw a bit of movement with Neo, right? So Neo had its own let me just so this is what we expected from Neo. It bounced from 68.1, went into this, and then it's again coming back to retest 16.82. So let me just clear off these drawing because it is old and I want to just draw a new set of drawings out here actually. Okay, so the thing is like we have a low here, right, and we have a high here, and most of the price action is between those levels. And let me just go ahead and enable 78.2, right? So this is what we can expect from Neo, right? So the thing is like if I just try to talk about Neo, the thing is like it was holding the support levels here at 61.8, but then again it dropped down to 78.6 level here, and it started moving back up. But the thing is like it was not able to break the resistance here, which is around these levels, and it saw a down trend, and it was able to just a tiny bit of bounce here with 61.8, but it was not able to hold due to the market conditions, and we saw it fill the gap here, which is at 17.68, right, or 17.5. But what we can expect from Neo is just to consolidate between these levels, to be very honest, 18 and 16.3. And we have earning coming up on Neo in November, so I don't think we have anything going on with Neo unless we have a very good news with the company itself or anything over here, right? So another ticker which I wanted to talk about is DPC. DPC got an upgrade, and we saw a 3% increase or the bounce on DPC actually. So if we just go ahead with the fib retracement levels, I'm just taking the high, I'm just taking the low, right? Nothing. Oh, sorry. I'm just taking the high and the lows, right? So we saw a very good support at 61.8 here, and then it started bouncing back and support at 38.2, and then it started bouncing back, but it was not able to hold, and it came down all the levels too. I would say sorry, my bad. So this is what we see, right? Like 319 support, and we had a upgrade just before the earnings here, which is in October 13th, right? So we saw an upgrade from the analysts, and we saw a bounce here, but even then we saw it just closed above the close of previous candle, and it is just being here as a positive thing. So what we can expect from DPC is very simple, right? Like we have a very good resistance and support here, so we can just draw a price level here. So if you see here, this is support and then the resistance, right? So we can expect DPC to consolidate between 340 and 320 levels until the ER, and if it breaks 340, we can see 344 as the next resistance level, right? So this is what we can expect from DPC with the latest upgrade. It saw a bounce, it closed bullish. I'm not saying that it broke the bearish trend, because if you just draw a trend line here, so it's still in the bearish levels and or in the bearish momentum. But whatever I can see here is just after upgrade, it was able to close a little bullish. But yeah, we can expect it to retest 340 levels and consolidate between 320 and 340 until the earnings. If the earnings is really good, we are going to see a bounce to 360 levels. So if you think of bad earnings on DPC, right? So DPC has a very good support here as well on weekly chart. The next support would be around here, right? Because we can see it was a base rally, and then it started going up. So I would say if it is a bearish trend, we will see 274 as a support for DPC. And if it is a bullish, then the earnings we can see 330, 344 and 360 being retested on DPC, right? So let's head back to 195 minutes chart, and we can just think of these levels, right? So moving back to LLY. So this is something which I was mentioning in the chat over a long period of time. So LLY is sitting up with a really good trend here. So the thing is, like, if I just have to draw a trend line here, so this is the resistance 1 2 3 4 5 and the dips over here, but it has very good support here as well on the daily chart, right? So the thing is, like, if you just see here, so this is a very good support here, whichever I can see. So the thing is, like, it was bullish base, then the rally, right? Rally, base and rally, and then it started going up, which I can think of a demand zone here. So, and which is support level here for us, and we can see 296 is the very good support level for LLY. So I would expect it to break the trend and move towards the next resistance of 319. But even then, if you want to go with the fib retracement levels or the fib extensions level, just see if we can come up with a very good levels here. Yeah, so the thing is like we have to break a 315. 315 is acting as very good support and resistance as well here. So if we see a break of 382, we can see a retest of 23.6, right, which is around 23. So this is what we can expect from LLY. I'm expecting it to break the bearish trend and retest of 323 because of the rotation what we can see here. And yeah, that's most with LLY. I'm just expecting it to if we see a resistance on the dip here, I would be waiting for 303 levels to load my positions. Now moving on to Tesla. So I have been talking about Tesla for a long time, and it's still in a bullish trend. It's not in a bearish trend, even with the market going down, up, or whatever, right? So I expect if something bad happens with Tesla, we can expect a support test here, and then if it breaks, we can see a dip here. But whatever I can see here from the chart, right, it's very simple that it was rejected at the resistance thrice 1, 2 and 3, and we can see Tesla being consolidated on these levels. The thing is like it had a very good support here, and let us see here. So it had a very good support here. We see a breakout here, and then the deep and the bounce, right? So we have a very good support here at 264 levels, and that is what we can expect from Tesla actually. If it is in a downtrend and if the market is bearish, we can see a test of 264 levels here before it makes a bounce. And whatever we can see here is a trend line. If I just want to take the latest swing, which is this, and the gap levels to this, so I can expect Tesla to retest this the trend line and move back up, right? So let me just remove this for now because I don't need it, because I have a support level here. So this is the trend line which it is holding. So the thing is like the max to max, whatever we can see it dropping down to 270 levels, and if it is breaking the trend line, we have support at 264 levels. So I would say keep your investment hold on for a second for Tesla. And we have ER coming up in October, which is 19th of October. So what I can expect is just consolidate between these levels, right, the trend line and the gap level. So if I just take the gap level here, so I would say 284, right? So 284 is something which you can think of Tesla testing if it bounces from the trend line. But if it breaks, we have support at 264. So yep, I think these are the tickers which I wanted to talk about, and I wanted to give a recap on Amazon, AMD, SPX, right? So as I mentioned again, just to give a recap on SPX, I'm expecting SPX to consolidate between 375 3751 and 368 levels, right? So these are the levels which I am expecting SPX to consolidate before anything happens on the Fed meeting, right? Yep. Thank you guys. Thanks a lot for watching this, and if you have any questions or if you want to tag me for any chart, please do it in the chart request channel in 3x trading, and I would be happy to give you the charts whatever you are looking for. Okay, thank you, and have a great trading week, and let us catch up again in 3x trading. Bye.